Happy holidays, folks, and welcome back to December, the series on the channel where I explore the death and downfall of the DCEU films in release order. I'll be uploading a video every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday between December 4th and December 28th over this wondrous holiday season. So, kick back, relax, grab some snacks, expect spoilers, because today we're talking about... Suicide Squad was probably my most anticipated movie to watch for this series, not because it's any good, but because I hadn't seen it since the first time I saw it in 2016 when the movie dropped. And when I went to see it back then, I was hoping it was going to be a good movie, and I was sorely disappointed. But as the years have gone on and I've become self-aware that it's a bad superhero movie, I have actually turned around and I really love this movie now. Again, not because it's good, but because this is like the gold standard of bad superhero movie. It's right up there with your Daredevils and your X-Men Origin Wolverines, because it's got everything you can want from a bad superhero movie. A nonsensical story, terrible acting.
Who are my guests to this handsome hunka?
Pointless action, too many characters, and of course, cheesy dialogue.
Behold the voice of God.
Go get it, girl.
The pyrokinetic homeboy.
Stay evil, Dollface.
We're bad guys. It's what we do.
And you can't forget the creme de la creme, the piece de resistance.
What, we some kind of Suicide Squad?
Oh, that's hot.
Suicide Squad is one mess of a movie. The director, David Ayer, has been very unhappy with what happened behind the scenes. He didn't get to make the movie the way that he wanted it to be, and Warner Brothers kind of chopped up what he did make and reorganized it, reshot it, and stitched together into this Frankenstein's amalgamation that we currently have. It's extremely divisive among fans, between people who do like it, people who don't, and people who want David Ayer to come back and basically get his chance to do what Zack Snyder did with Justice League and release his cut of the film. That doesn't seem like it's going to happen, but it is what it is. Now, what actually happens in the movie is just a nonsensical brain fart of a film, and I actually kind of like it because of how ridiculous it is. So the movie opens up with this like 30-minute music video montage of how all the Suicide Squad members were captured, brought to Belle Reve, what their backstories are, what they can do before the movie really gets rolling, as well as showcasing why Amanda Waller created the Suicide Squad and what they're going to be used for. So we're introduced to Harley Quinn, seeing she was captured by Batman while out in the town with the Joker. We see that the only thing she's listed for is assisting him in killing Robin, which, like, good for you, as that being like the one thing of importance that they mentioned. Not that you're, an acrobat or anything like that, something that explains why you were brought to the Suicide Squad for combat purposes, just that you killed Robin. So cool. Deadshot, we're shown as an expert marksman that never misses a shot. This is the one and only time we see him do a trick shot in the whole movie. And then we get this scene where he's out in the town with his daughter and gets arrested by Batman. I personally find this scene funny because Deadshot's daughter tells him a moment before Batman shows up to arrest him that she's perfectly fine with him being a bad guy. But then when Batman shows up to arrest him and he goes to fight back, she tells him to stop and let Batman arrest him, which, like, you just said you were fine with him being a criminal, and now you're going back on your word. Terrible child. And Batman is absolutely an idiot in this scene. He literally jumps down in front of Deadshot and his daughter, grabs Deadshot by the shoulder, and then is like, listen, I don't want to arrest you in front of your daughter. But, like, you already initiated the sequence. It's already happening. You can't take it back. Like, you already started it. His daughter saw you going to arrest him. It's too late now, man. What happened to all that ninja training you did that made you like the most deadliest assassin on earth? What happened to all of that, Batman? Do you need a refresher course? Next up on the chopping block is Captain Boomerang. We're shown that he has robbed every bank in Australia, which I didn't know Australia only had like 94 banks. That's really small. I looked it up afterwards. It says currently there's 95, but like, that's still really small to me, at least in comparison to what I imagine exists in America. But anyway, he comes to America to start robbing banks here, and then he gets captured by the Flash. And Amanda Waller says he's a part of the Suicide Squad because he tangled with a metahuman and lived to tell the tale. But, like, the Flash doesn't kill people, and he moves so fast, Captain Boomerang didn't have time to react. He kind of just ran up, grabbed him, and then he got arrested. Like, it's not really that intuitive or extravagant of an exchange between the two of them that's something to warrant him being on a team that can defeat Superman. I'll get to that in a second. Then we get introduced to Killer Croc, who we know basically nothing about this character. We're told that evolution took a backstep with him, and that's why he's a crocodile man, but like, I don't know if that means he had a genetic mutation, or if a science experiment went wrong, or he got into an accident of some kind, but like, he just is Killer Croc, and apparently he's a black guy based off of like this line at the end of the movie.
That can be arranged. Any other requests?
B.E.T.
So, cool, I guess. And the last member of the Suicide Squad is Diablo, who was an ex-cartel boss who accidentally killed his family and has the power of the devil. After killing his family, he turned himself in to repent for his sins, and that's the squad that we have. We also have Rick Flag and Katana, but they're more like government officials that work for Waller rather than Suicide Squad members themselves. Now, as I mentioned a moment ago, the Suicide Squad exists in this universe, according to David Harbour.
What if Superman had decided to fly down, rip off the roof of the White House, and grab the President of the United States right out of the Oval Office? Who would have stopped him? Amanda Waller has a plan.
To stop Superman, essentially. Not literally Superman, but someone of the same power level, an evil metahuman, if you will. That's why they exist. But none of the people a part of the Suicide Squad are strong enough to defeat Superman by themselves or as a team. The only person who maybe would have had a shot against Superman specifically would have been Diablo, and that's because he's a magic-based person and Superman has a weak affinity to magic. Aside from that, none of these people can defeat metahumans of that caliber. So I find it really hard to believe that this is the reason that they exist. I was kind of expecting that Amanda Waller was going to be lying about why they were created to use them for her own nefarious means, kind of like she does in the comics and other Suicide Squad iterations. They usually use to like assassinate people and steal things in a covert way that Amanda Waller tells them to do. Hell, the movie Suicide Squad Hell to Pay is about Amanda Waller sending the Suicide Squad to steal a card that will stop her from going to hell when she dies. That's it. So they usually do stuff like that, and this movie just completely omits that, but keeps like the same kind of team that would be doing these kinds of things. And it's really weird that this is what they were going for with the movie. Now that they're all assembled, we got to introduce the antagonist of the film, which is the Enchantress and her brother. You see, Amanda Waller originally had captured the Enchantress and was using her, and she was going to be a member of the Suicide Squad. But what happens is the Enchantress manages to steal her brother, set him free, and then the two of them start creating an evil beam to destroy the world and take over humanity as retribution for being outcast by humans like almost 7,000 years ago. Now, here's the thing that I need to bring up about this. Amanda Waller comes off so weak and incompetent in this movie that it's quite baffling. So, like, usually Amanda Waller feels like the person that's in charge of everything. Like, she does work for the government, yeah, but you never really see it, at least not in the iterations that I've seen. She always seems to be the top dog, the one that knows everything, that's in control of all and everything that happens. She's the wall that no one can get over. That's the intimidating nature that she has. But like in this movie, you see her like trying to get the government to approve her team. You see the Enchantress outsmarting her because like in this sequence, the Enchantress goes to steal her heart from Amanda Waller, but Amanda Waller has a bomb set to the case, so it can't be opened unless she uses her own DNA and fingerprints to stop the bomb from going off and killing the Enchantress. But then the Enchantress's brother, she just leaves on her shelf in her closet. So the Enchantress just like teleports into her closet and then steals her brother. And I'm just like, you went through all of these meticulous means to stop the Enchantress from stealing her heart, but her brother you just left on a shelf. What the hell is wrong with you? Same thing with the guy who runs the prison that the Suicide Squad is in. He is a walking security hazard. He is a druggie and a drunk that doesn't know how to keep his mouth shut, that over-abuses his power at the prison, and then gets into a gambling debt that results in him leading the Joker to breaking Harley Quinn out of the Suicide Squad later on in the film. Like, this guy should not be in charge of this location. And Amanda Waller, being this meticulous person who specifically uses leverage on people to make sure they do the stuff that she wants them to do, would never hire someone that's this much of a security risk. It absolutely baffles me that this man is here. Like, everything in this movie just makes her feel very weak and incompetent as opposed to other iterations. Like, compare this Waller.
She knows.
What?
Waller. She's been listening.
You're lying. I'm team leader.
She knew there was a traitor somewhere.
Waller? Listen to me. I beg you.
To this Waller.
That ain't me.
That wasn't you.
Nah, they say it's me, but that ain't me.
And yet here you are.
Let me try to talk to him.
These two are not the same person. And I don't discredit Viola Davis's performance, because there are scenes in this movie where you do get the feeling that, like, she's giving the performance of that character. It's just the way that this movie's poorly written and edited that makes you feel like, oh, you're not as intimidating as you're making me believe, which makes me not scared of you. And that's truly a shame, because she really should be a force to be reckoned with. But anyway, the Suicide Squad is assembled. They have the approval from the government. They know what they're for. And then the Enchantress escapes, releases her brother, and her brother are starting to cause a calamity. And the government calls in Waller, and they're like, hey, get the Suicide Squad ready. We've got metahumans that need to be stopped. Except that's not what they're doing in this movie, because they're actually here to free Amanda Waller. They're here to pick her up and give her a ride home. And it's like, but wait a minute. That's not what you were called for. Because the government called them to go stop the Enchantress and her brother, who are now terrorizing the world and creating a giant beam laser that's going to destroy everything. But then when they finally assemble and gear up, and they're explained that they have a bomb in the back of their neck that'll blow up if they don't do what they're supposed to, then they get to the city and they're told, okay, we're going to extract an individual that's in the city, and then that's the mission. And I'm like, wait, you just told me that they're here to stop the Enchantress and her brother. Why aren't they going to stop the Enchantress and her brother? Why are they now on an extraction mission for a random individual that's in this city? And this random individual turns out to be Amanda Waller. But, like, how did Amanda Waller get here? She was at Belle Reve a couple of scenes ago with Rick Flag. Did she leave from there and go to this city, and then the Enchantress showed up there, and then now was like, oh, I need to get out of here, so I'm going to call the Suicide Squad to get me to escape? Like, what is happening here? It's so random that nothing makes sense, but it's supposed to be this massive reveal. Like, the Suicide Squad assembles, they get to the city, they start traversing through the city to get to Waller, and then when they finally get there and the big reveal happens, it's like, whoa, the person that we were here to get was Waller. It's like, what is happening? What's going on here? What about the giant beam laser in the sky? Is no one going to do anything about that? The Justice League doesn't exist at this point, so, like, who's gonna deal with that if their job was just to save Waller? But, like, it doesn't matter, because Waller then gets captured by the Enchantress and her brother, so they have to go and save her anyway. But, like, it's so confusing and baffling that you don't exactly understand what's going on. The same thing goes with the scene-to-scene leading up to this big reveal. Because in between them getting the mission and them arriving and finding out that they're just saving Waller and not actually stopping the Enchantress, the Suicide Squad has the most incompetent conversations, because Waller has a device that can kill the Suicide Squad members. If she just pushes a button on this device, it will kill the Suicide Squad members. Rick Flag also has that same device, so, like, while he's on the field with them, if they do anything stupid, he can kill any of them at a drop of a dime. That's fine. But, like, they're planning to kill Rick so they can escape with Harley when the Joker arrives. But their plan isn't to kill him when the Joker arrives and disables the bombs in their necks, presumably what he would do, because Deadshot talks to Harley. He's like, your friend can disable our bombs, right, when he arrives to get here. And, like, that's what they're planning. It's like Joker's going to disable all their bombs, they're going to kill Rick Flag and the soldiers, and then they're all going to escape. That's the plan. But they're planning to kill Rick prior to the Joker disabling the bombs in their necks, and Amanda Waller has access to blow them all up. So, like, if any of them tried to kill Rick Flag prior to the Joker disabling the bombs, they would still die. So I'm just like, wait a minute. You know that you can't kill him, but you're all talking about killing him, like, right now. What is wrong with all you people? Are you actively trying to die? Because it's not like the Joker's like, oh, hey, I'm hiding around the corner. Once you kill all these guys, I'm going to disable the bombs. That's not what's happening. He's not there yet, but they're still planning to enact this plan to kill everyone before they're safe to actually kill everyone. I feel like this was supposed to add tension, or like the story was probably supposed to be different than what it is, so these scenes and lines of dialogue don't match up properly. Like, if the original cut of the movie was that Rick just has the device and they don't know that Waller has one herself, that's fine, but like, they all know Waller's watching, and Waller has the ability to kill them. Rick just also has the ability to kill them. So, like, what's wrong with you people? Did you, like, drop IQ points the second after you developed this plan and are, like, acting off instinct now? Like, what's happening here? And what's even worse is that there's a scene where both Flag and Waller are in the same room. They could easily kill the both of them and then be scot-free and go home, but none of them do anything, and I don't understand why. Like, Deadshot is an expert marksman who could shoot pretty damn fast. Waller is a human. She's not faster than a bullet. If you shot both her and Flag at the same time, you guys would be scot-free. So I don't really know why they go through this whole situation and, like, make it so incompetent. It's like they try to kill Flag when they could be killed, and then they don't when they could survive. It's super weird and super stupid. So they traverse through the city discussing this plan and bickering with each other about when they should enact it. They meet these weird monsters that the Enchantress created, not realizing that's what they were here to fight because they were left out of the information. They eventually get to the tower. They meet Waller. It's like, whoa, big reveal. They were here to save Amanda Waller. Then when they go to get on the helicopter to leave the city, that's when the Joker is there. He attacks. He sets Harley free from the bomb. She escapes, and everything seems fine. Harley's escaping with the Joker, and Waller tells Deadshot to kill him. He refuses. I don't know why she doesn't kill him. It's probably just because of plot armor, because there's no feasible reason why she doesn't kill Deadshot for disobeying orders. So then Harley's on the way escaping with the Joker, and then their helicopter gets shot down. Harley ends up falling out and surviving, and then the Joker's helicopter crashes. And you think he's dead at the moment, but he isn't. He comes back in the last scene of the movie, but that doesn't really matter. So Harley is now heartbroken and rejoins the Suicide Squad after the squad now has to go and save Waller. Because after Harley's helicopter crashed, Waller gets in a new one that gets taken down by the Enchantress, and she's kidnapped by her. So now they have to go and save her. So Harley's like, oh, hey guys, I want to join the Suicide Squad again. But like, this scene's very weird. You see, Harley seems upset in this scene, but it doesn't feel like it's because the Joker died, because she throws away the gift that the Joker gave her, her choker necklace that says Puddin' on it. Now, I don't know if you've lost a loved one in your life, but like, whenever you do, you care about the things that they had and kind of hold on to them as mementos to remember why you love them so much. So the fact that she gets rid of the Joker's gift, it makes me feel like this scene was supposed to be about her dealing with being broken up with by the Joker, because if it was just the Joker died, why would she go back to the Suicide Squad? Why would she go back to the people that are going to throw her in jail when her bomb is deactivated and she's free to do whatever she wants? So it feels like they were supposed to break up here, and then she was going to rejoin the Suicide Squad, and that's what was going to be the plot of what happens in this sequence, because the following movie, well, not the following movie directly, but like a few movies down the line, we get the standalone Harley Quinn movie, Birds of Prey, and the premise of that film is that Harley and the Joker recently broke up, and she's trying to figure her own shit out. So I feel like that was supposed to happen here, and then Suicide Squad was going to segue into the Birds of Prey movie, but that's not what happens, and it's very strange. So now the squad's back together. They investigate the helicopter crash where Waller was to find out she was kidnapped by the Enchantress. Then Deadshot finds the top secret files that break down who the Enchantress is, the relationship she has with Rick Flag, and all the monsters and everything they've been fighting. And then, like, I don't know why this is considered, like, a big thing. Like, what does it matter that there's an evil witch that created these monsters? Your job is to go save Waller and then go home. None of this changes your plan. But, like, it's a big thing, and the Suicide Squad's like, we're done taking orders, we're all going to go for a drink in the bar. I actually like this scene where they're all just kind of bonding with each other, minus this one specific moment. So, Harley is mad at Diablo because he accidentally killed his kids. Like, Diablo tells his whole backstory, saying how they're all going to face repercussions for their crimes, and he mentions that, like, he accidentally killed his wife and kids when his powers went out of control when he got mad in an argument with his wife. And Harley reacts like this.
Killed them. didn't you?
But, like, you murdered Robin, the teenage boy wonder. The boy died by being beaten with a crowbar and then blown up with a ton of explosives. Granted, we don't actually physically see what happens to him in the DCEU. I'm just basing this off of what happens to him in the comics. So, like, if the same thing arguably happened to him here in the DCEU, that's way more brutal and way more intentional than Diablo accidentally blowing up his house, killing his family. So, like, shut up, woman. But anyway, then Rick Flag comes in. He's all sad. He's like, listen, guys, I need your help. He breaks the device that has their bomb control on it. And then they all decide that they're going to work with him. They're going to go and save Waller and kill the Enchantress. And it's supposed to be like a team unification moment. And I'm just like, this is so ridiculous. I love this movie so much. So they all team up, they go, Killer Croc goes like underground to get the bomb that apparently Flag left that they were going to use to kill the Enchantress's brother earlier in the movie so he can plant it under him. The rest of them go on foot to the location. They get into a fight with the Enchantress. Diablo goes full demon mode, grabs on to the Enchantress's brother and sacrifices himself to kill him. Now it's just the Suicide Squad versus the Enchantress. And like, why does she do this? Because, like, the Enchantress is an almost 7,000-year-old witch. But instead of using magic to fight the Suicide Squad and kill them, she pulls out 2 swords and has a fisticuffs fight with them. Like, they're all expert hand-to-hand combatants. Why don't you use your crazy evil witch magic to kill all of them? Like, you can create a giant beam mechanism in the sky that can literally snipe nuclear bases from all around the world and create weird zombie eyeball monsters, but like you decide to fight the people who are notoriously known for being the world's deadliest killers in a one-on, like, 5 sword fight? What the hell is wrong with you? Shoot magic at them, you idiot! So they get into the fight with the Enchantress. Then the fight's not really going towards the Suicide Squad's side, and Harley tricks the Enchantress by saying she wants to join her. She then cuts out her heart, weakening the Enchantress. They blow up the weird magic machine laser thing that she created, which, like, sure, I guess you can blow up evil magic laser thing. I guess I don't know. I guess that just works. I don't know the logistics of evil witch machine magic sky beam. So maybe that's how this works. Whatever. So they cut out the Enchantress's heart. Rick Flag grabs the heart. He tells her to bring back the woman that he loves. She says no. He crushes the heart, and then, you know, June ends up being alive anyway because it just killed the spirit of the Enchantress instead of, like, killing her as well. Then Waller is like, hey, bitch, I'm still alive. And she gives all the Suicide Squad members, like, a gift for defeating the Enchantress and saving her life. Killer Croc gets BT. Harley asks for an espresso machine. Deadshot gets time with his daughter. And Captain Boomerang tried to antagonize Waller, so he just gets locked in his cell with no prize. Boo-hoo for him. And that's really the end of the movie. There's one post-credit scene where Bruce Wayne goes to see Waller to get records of where and who all the Justice League members are, but he already had that from when he downloaded the files from Lex Luthor in Batman v Superman. Well, whatever, I guess. So he gets these files from Waller, and then they have like a little like cute moment where Waller implies that she knows that he's Batman, and then he threatens her with the Justice League that he hasn't formed yet. And that's the end of Suicide Squad. So all in all, it's one hell of a mess of a film that I can't really describe accurately, and you could probably tell that from everything I just said, but I think if you go into it self-aware, it's a cheesy, bad superhero movie, you'll probably have a good time. Otherwise, you'll probably be disappointed and be like, why did I watch this? Why did I listen to this guy? I wasted my time. Screw this man. So, yeah, that's Suicide Squad. I hope you guys enjoyed and are enjoying the series of December of Death of DC for this month. And I will be back tomorrow for another video. So remember, folks, you're innocent to proven villainous, and I'll catch you next time.